And we're live. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Four Quarters. All sports, every day, all day. And she's a babe. I really got to stop talking about Aaron Rodgers.
My money's on that.
And to no surprise, my shout out, Caitlin Clark.
We're live. Yep.
We're on. We're just a few minutes late. Oh, God.
15
minutes late.
And it's just you and me.
And it's CB and I just hanging out here. We might have talked a little bit too much.
Yeah, we're just
And we might have had a
catching
camera difficulty.
up. Yeah.
But welcome in to the tip-off of another Four Quarters right before the Final Four tip.
Oh, boy.
Ding, ding, ding. I'm a little nervous.
I'm actually happy we're doing this, so it'll like make the time go quicker
Yeah.
for 7 o'clock.
Is there one game? I mean, they're both should be fabulous, but
Yeah.
is there one game you're like, this is the one?
UConn, UCLA.
It is. Okay.
It's got to be, right? The Texas game,
Yeah.
Texas South Carolina game, is going to be so ugly.
Because it's two defensive teams.
And
Texas a little bit better defensively.
yes, but South Carolina has not looked good.
Right.
They had the easiest.
Thank you for saying that.
They had the easiest path to the Final Four,
Yes.
but have made it look the hardest.
Yes.
UConn, which has had a has made it look the easiest.
Yeah, but we did also discuss that if Juju were playing,
Yes.
do you think USC would have beat UConn?
Yes.
That was a big chunk
Yes.
right there. That was a big chunk to take out of the NCAA tournament.
Right. Because if you think about it, it's not just her offense, it's her defense. She
Right.
plays tough defense.
She's long. She's
strong.
She's going to close out on shooters.
Yep.
Paige Beckers.
And then she just takes so much attention
Yep.
that it opens up other players.
Yep. I agree.
So, I mean, Sarah Strong had a wonderful, we'll get into it, but
I will say this, and I've said it numerous times this week. To me, the national championship game, and I do not want to disrespect South Carolina and Texas,
should be
UConn and UCLA.
100,000%.
Because what you have, oops, I don't even have our timer going. What you have is the team playing the best right now in
Yep.
UConn
Yep.
with the big three. And the team that's played the best most consistently throughout the season.
Yep.
They're the ones that stayed in that number one slot for
Yep.
such a long time.
Yep.
Texas, South Carolina, Notre Dame get in that number one spot and they can't handle it.
Right.
UCLA was consistent throughout the season.
Yep.
And UConn is the best team right now.
How excited are you to see Sarah Strong and Lauren Betts go after it?
I love it. And here's the weird thing. We live on the East Coast. I have watched so much UCLA this year. It's not even funny.
Yeah.
Like I stay up on the weekends. I'll watch a UCLA game on a Sunday night. Yeah. And I don't think, and maybe it's because we're East Coast, Lauren Betts doesn't get enough credit.
No.
I know, and we'll get to shout outs here about Player of the Year in women's basketball and men's, but Lauren Betts is a hell of a player.
Yes.
And she really stood out to me last year. I think it was the Sweet 16 or the Elite 8. It was the Elite 8. And we were in Albany.
Yep.
And we were watching LSU and UCLA.
You really were huge on UCLA last year.
Oh, huge.
Yep.
And in that game, I watched the officials make some questionable calls in favor of LSU. And I don't like saying that because officials don't decide a game. But I watched a UCLA team well-rounded. And I knew going into that game, LSU was the favorite team.
Yep.
And UCLA really should have won that game.
Yes.
And I kept texting you. I'm like, you got to replay with, did you agree with that call?
Yeah.
So I knew they were going to come back hungry this year. And I watched them after the game. When they came out of the locker room, they were right below us.
Yeah.
And there was hundreds of kids. And you can call me cheesy for saying this, but this is a huge part of sports.
Oh, yeah.
Lauren Betts never made her way to her seat, which was parallel, where her parents were sitting, parallel to where we were in the corner, till she signed every kid's whatever, basketball sneaker, program, didn't matter, jersey.
Yeah.
And so didn't Kiki Rice and most of them, most
Yeah.
of the UCLA team, but definitely Lauren Betts. And I watched her more than I watched the next game, which I think was Caitlin Clark, but they were crushing Colorado.
Yeah.
And I watched her even when she sat down. I'm like, God, it took her forever to get to her seat.
Yeah.
And kids were still coming up to her. And she never once waved them away. And I'm not saying any college kid would, you don't know.
Yeah.
So it was kind of neat to watch her up close.
Yeah.
And now that I've watched her game
Yep.
this year, the one thing I can say is whoever guards her, and I think I've said it on the podcast before, is going to be bruised after the game.
Oh, yeah.
She uses her elbows so well.
Oh, yeah.
Borderline fouls.
Oh, yep.
But not.
Yeah.
Because you always tell them to chin it with the elbows out,
Right.
and she creates space.
Right.
But she's not swinging them, but
No.
she's still getting a
I
rib
know.
shot in
and
there.
then depending on, or a face shot, depending on
Yeah,
how
or
tall
a
they
face
are,
shot.
right? I think she got in a little bit of trouble
She did.
in the Elite Eight.
She did.
So she's got to really watch that.
She does.
Depending on how it's called. But as a short person, as a shorty, I love watching bigs go after it.
Yep.
It's so, and their footwork.
Thank you. It's their footwork.
Yep.
Because a lot of people are like, oh, you can be big, and then
Yeah.
we'll just teach you to use the glass.
Yeah,
But
nope.
it's your footwork.
That's what I love about Sarah Strong.
Yes.
Is her
yes.
footwork. As a
Yes.
freshman,
As a freshman.
chef's kiss.
Yep. And Paige Becker's
Yep.
announced this week she is going. But anyways, so I hope you're watching
Yeah, we'll
this
have to
on
talk
our
about that.
what?
We'll have to talk about
Yep. Our Four Quarters Facebook page, our 802 Scoops, and we're on YouTube. I'm going to throw it to CB for shout outs and dogs. Doggy.
Yep. So real quick, Wayne says, "Go Duke."
The Duke's right behind me. Right behind me. And I should get a lot of my sister, if she's watching, she's going to be like, why is Duke behind you? But it's true. Sorry. I
Doggy of
digress.
the week is a doggy that we actually featured back in like September, October. It's Tay. She's less than a year old. She's at Team Golden Hugs. She has been working so hard with a trainer, guys. So she lived on the streets, and she has that
The hardest part.
mentality where she, it's really truly like alpha dog. You have to
Yep.
fight for what you want.
You have to fight, yeah.
But she's had a private trainer. She's
Okay.
gone through training. So what's great about that Gail says, I'm watching Duke behind you. What's great about Tay working with a trainer and we both kind of have reactive dogs.
Yes, very.
Mine is reactive and she'll just run away.
Mine would probably fight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but when working with a private trainer, you kind of understand what strategies works for
Right,
her, how to
right.
redirect her, what kind of triggers her at times. She will play well in groups at times.
Yeah.
But then as soon as like her family's involved, she wants to be the top dog, and she loves her humans. And so she has a great relationship with her coaches. She loves to work out. She's an active dog. She's less than a year old. So she does need a lot of playtime, but knows her basic commands, has good recall off leash. She should be the only dog just
Yeah.
because she can be dog selective.
So
But
we can't adopt her.
no,
You can't and I can't.
no. I think she would just, I don't know. Sophie's so submissive
Right. I can't adopt
that
her.
having a strong dog might
Yeah.
not be the worst thing.
That's true.
But
That's true.
but with Freya, she's
Yeah,
a little
no.
bit more.
Yep.
Yeah. She'll
4 years in and
again,
she's still the same
But again,
way.
she had a similar story, right?
Yep.
She was out on the
Streets.
streets
Protecting her brother.
So they know that they
Yeah.
have to be
Survival mode.
exactly.
Survival mode.
But look up Tay. She's been working so hard, guys.
And get onto the Golden Hugs website. There's
Yeah.
some good.
There's
Get onto
so
all
many.
of them.
Yes.
Adopt a dog. It's the perfect time of year.
Yes.
Spring's in the air.
Exactly.
Baseball's in the air.
Yeah.
It's all in the air.
I think all my shout outs we'll eventually get to.
Okay. Oh, okay.
I don't have any like
Okay.
specific shout outs.
Okay.
But
I'm gonna give. We named the show the Great One. The
Yep.
Great. What do we name
the great
that?
one. Yep.
We don't give enough shout outs to hockey.
Yep.
But I very much enjoy hockey, especially playoff hockey. And Alex Ovechkin is about to hit a milestone that I probably didn't think would get broke in my lifetime. because Wayne Gretzky owns everything.
The goal, yeah, the
The
goal.
points one with Gretzky, that's going to take a long time. But this is obviously the goals. He is only 3 goals away at the ripe old age of 39, which I guess is old in hockey, to getting to 894,
Wow.
which is pretty amazing. He's stayed with the Washington Capitals his whole career. I believe
That's
they won
awesome.
Stanley Cup there. Tough as they come.
Yep.
Tough as they come. I've seen him with his front teeth out, which he must just pop them in when he goes out in public. I mean, he is a hockey freaking player.
Yeah.
So the fact that he's about to break this amazing record, he deserves a huge shout out.
Oh,
And
that's
if
awesome.
I think of hockey right now, I think of Alex Ovechkin. I
That's
really
amazing.
do. I know Connor McDavid is the new face of the NHL, but I want to give a big shout out to Alex Ovechkin, and he should pass that goal scoring 894 soon. The next one I wanted to do last week, and here's another sport I don't talk enough about, golf.
Oh yeah. No, we don't talk about golf at all.
But when I watch a golf tournament on Sunday,
Yeah.
I'm glued. My sister took me to the God Sis, what was the name? It's Travelers puts it on. Is it the Travelers? It's the Travelers. So up close and personal, fabulous.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Yeah.
And when I think of the Masters, which I would always
Yep.
will watch on Sundays, I think of Jim Nantz.
Yes. Of course.
So he is 65 years old, and he's about to call his 40th Masters.
Oh, that's amazing.
And there's no other voice I
No.
really want to listen to.
Yeah.
And it's kind of it's going to sound weird, but it's a soothing voice as well. But his goal is to work until 2036. So you got to add 11 more years, so he'll be 76.
Yep.
Because at that point in 2036, it will be the 100th Masters.
Oh, okay.
And I'm
Solid
all
goal.
for it, and I hope
Solid
it
goal.
happens.
I don't even watch golf, and I know.
I love it.
And I know him. Gail says, yeah, Travelers Championship.
Travelers Championship.
Yeah.
And of course, he said, first and foremost, a lot of things got to go right, meaning his
Yeah.
health.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I sure hope he attains
Me
that
too.
goal of calling 11 more Masters. And there's nobody better at calling the Masters than Mr. Jim Nantz. And it's all in the voice, too. And he knows his shit.
Yeah.
He really does. Sent you a pic. Huge shout out to Elena Delle Donne. Probably one of my top 3 players in the WNBA, who is officially retiring. She
Yep.
did not play last season.
Yep.
You could have called it a contract dispute. She also had a lot of back issues. 2-time MVP and 2019 champ with the Washington Mystics. And we talk about good people in the sports.
Yep.
She
She
is one.
Yeah. She also is the caregiver for her sister. Yeah.
And God, do you
And
love that bond.
It's such a gorgeous relationship.
Oh, it's a beautiful.
Yeah.
It's absolutely beautiful, that relationship. So wish her nothing but the best in retirement. A couple of NFL shout outs. First to Geno Smith. So I thought he would be a bridge quarterback with the
Yeah.
Raiders.
Yeah.
I know that's Pete Carroll's guy.
Yeah.
But I'm like, they're going to draft a quarterback.
Yep.
They gave him a 2-year extension.
They did.
Which now tells me they're probably not going to draft a
Nope.
quarterback. He gets 85.5, 66.5 of that is guaranteed, and he'll be with the Raiders through
I
2027.
think it's a great move.
Another extension, and I love this one, is Trey McBride, the young tight
Yep.
end of the Arizona Cardinals. Arizona, first of all, way to be proactive.
Yep.
I think they learned from watching the Bengals just draw it out the last 3
my
years.
gosh. So
with
painful.
Jamar last 2.
Yep.
With T. Higgins the last 2
Yep.
years.
It's been so painful.
So proactive in signing the best young tight end in the NFL. And he is now the highest paid tight end in the history. That's huge. He got a 4-year, $76 million deal. So Kyler Murray, I mean, I'm not sure he'll end up being the quarterback of Cardinals through those 4 years,
No.
but he deserves it.
Yep. 100%.
Drafted him pretty high, and I don't draft tight ends in fantasy.
Yeah.
Drafted him pretty high, and he is one of the reasons why I won it. I mean, he was effing solid. Shout outs to the AP Player and Coaches of the Year announced yesterday and today.
What do you think about those?
Corey Close, Coach of the Year from UCLA.
What do you think about that?
Who do you think deserved it?
The TCU coach.
Campbell.
Yeah.
Yes, a lot of people have a very strong opinion, Karen Safford, on Coach Campbell getting it for TCU, and I can't argue it.
He did much more with much less. Or
There
he
you go.
did just as
Well,
much
he also
with much less.
built a program where they had to have open tryouts last year. He did a good job through the portal.
Yep.
So he did bring in some players.
Oh, absolutely.
But still, to get them to the Elite Eight,
Yeah. That was their first Elite Eight in their history.
I wish that the AP on the women's side had done what the men's, well, it's a vote.
Yeah.
On the men's side, it was a tie.
Oh, okay.
First time in 58 years, or in the history, 58 years, that there was a tie between Bruce Pearl and not John Calipari, Rick Pitino. I almost said John Calipari. Rick Pitino. I'll get that right. So a tie on the men's side.
Yep.
Corey Close, I do also feel deserves a lot.
She's done a lot, and she's a great coach.
She is a great coach. I want to know how many steps she does. Because she just is a...
Oh, yep.
And her body language just cracks me up. I don't know. I can't explain it. She just cracks me up. But Coach Campbell, yes, 100%.
Yeah.
So I wish there was a tie.
Me too.
Like there was on the men's side.
Yep.
The Women's Player of the Year, Juju Watkins.
Absolutely
She
deserves
got all votes but 2.
Where'd they go to Paige?
And that was in for first. And they both went to Hidalgo, Hannah Hidalgo.
Oh, I hate that.
I'm like, I got to write that one down.
I hate that.
I don't know about that one.
What frustrates the shit out of me about Hidalgo, and yes, I'm already cursing and it's 15 minutes in, is that her decision making is the worst.
And we're probably going to talk about her later when we talk about the biggest portal entry.
Yep. She just does too much on offense and on defense.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are you doing? And I know, I get it, guys. She's a sophomore. But still, like...
I can name 5 other players I would rather have on my team.
100%.
Than Hannah Hidalgo.
She's got the talent.
Yes,
she's obviously
she does.
talented.
Yes.
But if she's just... I wonder how coachable... I wonder what that means about her coachability. Because you know that the coaches are riding her on those decisions.
Absolutely.
So it's like, that's what I wonder about.
And they really pressed in that game with TCU.
Yeah.
You weren't going to make up 10 points in one trip down the floor.
Right.
And they just kept pressing. And Hidalgo kept trying to do too much. And then Olivia Miles kept trying to do too much.
And TCU came back for a little bit.
Yep. And that was a good game. I mean, that one surprised me because it wasn't as close as I thought it was going to be.
Same.
And of course, on the men's side, so that was for first place that Juju got all the votes other than the 2. On the men's side, literally all the votes just went to 2 players.
Yep.
And of course, Cooper Flagg got 41 of the 61 total votes. And Johnny Broom from Auburn, right here. That's a nice Auburn hat too, don't you think?
That's a beautiful Auburn
Brand
hat.
new, just got
I love the
delivered
colors.
today.
I love the colors.
I do love their colors. So Cooper Flagg, the boy from Maine, who has had just a phenomenal year.
It couldn't have gone to anyone else.
I tell you what, we were talking at work about the games, the Final Four, and everybody's talking about the women's. I really can't wait for the men's games either because it's the first time that I can remember in 20 years that 4 number 1s on the men's side are in it.
Yeah. And like I talked to you because at my new job, I don't really talk a lot. I can't really talk a lot of sports, but I was trying to explain to someone. I was like, the men's bracket was unexpectedly expected.
Yep.
Right? Yep. It's never like this. There's always upsets somewhere.
Exactly.
And there really wasn't that many this year.
And there's not really a Cinderella, but there is. It's like a 6th seed or a 7th that we're going to call a Cinderella at that point when you get to the Final Four. Yeah. I look at my bracket and I had 3 out of 4. Yeah. I had Tennessee over Houston.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, that Houston team, I don't want to give them a podcast, Jane. I don't want to give any of them.
Don't give them a podcast, Jane, because I chose them.
You chose them. And I will say this. Florida survived.
Oh my gosh!
Texas Tech survived.
Oh yeah, That was. Oh my god!
And on the women's side, I have all 4.
Yeah,
correct.
Me too.
But and usually there's no upsets on the women's side.
Yeah.
So now we're digressing because we're getting all excited about the Final Four. Deion Sanders gets a shout out. Just got an extension because he's probably hurting for cash. 5 years, $54 million.
Okay.
He's done a great job with that program.
Yeah.
Glad he got the extension now because now he doesn't have Travis Hunter
Yeah.
or Shedeur Sanders.
Yep.
But he did land a big fish. I can't remember the kid's name. I think he went from USC to Colorado, but I'll have to get that for
I
next
remember
week.
that story.
Yeah, so he's still got a good quarterback, but
Yeah.
he's going to have to coach him up a little bit.
Yeah.
Shedeur Sanders' pro day was today. I guess he put on a show. They always put on a show.
Of course they
There's no
do.
defense.
Yeah.
You're just throwing.
Exactly.
And Travis Hunter made a few appearances. Any of the top 3 teams not drafting Travis Hunter has a problem.
Stupid.
That's all I'm going to say.
Stupid. I'm so worried for the draft.
I know you are. So Deion Sanders, congrats. He made an appearance too. He was just as confident as ever. Shedeur Sanders was interviewed by NFL Live. He's just as confident as his dad. It was
Shocking.
fun to watch.
Shocking.
It's pay-per-view TV almost. Women's sports. I got a few. You know me and my numbers. And we talked about Deion already. I gotta find where I think it's on Instagram. This isn't just a surge in interest, it's a shift in the landscape. So I like the way they put it.
100%.
4 of the most followed athletes in the 2025 NCAA tournament are women.
Yes.
So give them a big shout. Number 1, Paige Beckers.
Yep.
Number 2, Flau'jae Johnson.
Okay.
Surprising, right?
Yeah.
Number 3, HVL. That's what I'm going to call Haley
Yeah.
Van Lith now. I love it.
Yep.
Number 4, Juju Watkins.
Yep.
So we had to go to number 5.
Yep.
And that's where Cooper Flagg comes in.
Oh,
with
wow. Look at the ladies
1 million.
beating out
Yeah.
Cooper Flagg.
Paige Beckers, 2.1 million followers.
Yeah.
And Flau'jae Johnson, 2 million. They're the only
Yeah.
ones in the 2 million range.
We'll talk about the Elite Eight in the Final Four, but props to Flau'jae.
Yeah.
Man.
More
she
and more.
struggled. She struggled
Yes.
to start, but
Yeah.
then, oh man, she took that game over.
She did. And the more I read about her, follow her, watch her game, the more I like her. I can't
too.
not like the kid because she's playing for Kim Mulkey.
Literally, I like the LSU team. I can't.
Yeah, me too.
I don't like Kim Mulkey.
And Nisha Morrow, I didn't like her, and then I will always dissect and go, why,
Yeah.
Lori?
Yeah.
Because she has RBF face.
Yeah.
Watch her game, which is
Her
phenomenal.
game for a small for being pretty. She's
yes.
what, like 6'1",
Like a Charles Barkley,
6'2"?
yeah,
But
she's not
man,
tall.
But man, when she's in the post,
Yeah, she's rugged.
oh man,
And again, footwork, positioning.
I like her a lot.
And the other number that I want to remind people of, last year's championship, the women outdrew the men.
Yep.
18.7 million viewers to 14.8.
Yep.
Going along with that, women's sports revenue is to hit a record 2.3 billion
Damn.
this year.
Damn.
Holy crap.
That's awesome.
Women's sports, wow.
The Unrivaled actually released jerseys
Yep.
because you can only buy jerseys. They had to wait for the Players Association to agree for them to allow them to sell
Okay.
jerseys. And then they went on, then they were selling them only in Miami, but they finally put them online. And I was like, oh, I want to buy a jersey.
Collier.
Fucking forgot. Yes. And then they were sold, 10 of them, 10 players, were sold out within 7 minutes.
10 players?
10 players' jerseys were sold out within 7 minutes.
Wow.
And I was like, God, because I went on, they went live at 1, and I went on at like 1:30 because I remembered, and I was like, son of a
Do you remember the 10?
It was like Collier.
Collier must have been in there.
I think it was
Brittany Griner wasn't, was she?
No.
Sorry.
Yeah, it was like Stewie, Collier, but then it was also Martin. Hers sold out.
Nice.
Yeah, she was one of the unexpected ones that I didn't think, but she's pretty popular.
She
I
is
can't
so
remember the other
freaking
ones.
popular. It's not even funny.
But Collier was the one I was going for, so.
HVL gets another shout out from me.
Yeah, props to her.
Did you see her dad at any point?
Yes,
He's
so
funny, dude.
fun to
He's
watch.
fun. So he's as she would say, hard labor. He's a construction worker.
Yeah.
And through her career, through her growing up, I should say, he would work 10-hour days.
Mm-hmm.
And what she remembers most is him getting home around 9:30,
Yeah,
skipping dinner,
Yeah.
and going to the gym with her
Yeah.
until 11.
yep.
That's a good dad.
Yeah.
That's a really good dad.
Yeah.
He was fun to watch. At one point, I was like, whoa, that's a little bit much. But then I'm like, no. He's a proud dad.
Oh, absolutely.
And what about Haley Van Lith just being completely raw
Yeah.
and transparent about her mental health
Her
issues?
struggles, yeah.
Yeah, her struggles.
Yeah.
That's this younger generation
I love it.
needs to hear that.
And I love that people are being more, that they're talking, they're stepping away from the game.
Right.
Right?
Right.
We saw that a lot to get away, because there's so much. Gina was talking about how this generation is just different with the pressure
Right.
that they have to deal with
Yes.
24/7 pretty much.
24/7,
right?
absolutely.
And so they can't just hide, right?
Right.
Players from, like, when we were growing up watching players, like, you had no idea about most of their private life because it
Right.
wasn't everywhere.
Right.
They make a decision and they're kids. Like, they're
kids.
18-year-old kids, man. They're making
kids.
stupid
More
decisions.
than anything, they're kids.
Right? And the scrutiny that they're under is just, which makes me look at, like, Paige Beckers and Juju Watkins, who just are so well spoken.
Right. Yes, they are, indeed.
They're so
Indeed.
well spoken. The things that they use their popularity for, it's just amazing.
Yeah, they're taking their platform and they're
Yeah.
making positives out of it.
Exactly.
I mean, time and time again.
Yeah.
And we don't wonder why women's sports is at an all-time high, breaking records. I
Right.
mean, they're doing good things with their platform.
Yeah.
They really, truly are.
Juju's what, 20?
Yeah, yeah.
Right? Oh man.
And I liked Juju's game. Again,
Yeah.
would have been a totally different game if
Yeah.
she had played. But now I'm like, now we're going to watch her do what Paige Beckers did in
Yep.
coming back from these ACL
Yes.
injuries, which have come a long ways.
Yep.
20, 30
and-
years ago, you wouldn't
yeah.
even thought about playing basketball.
Nope. And Paige did reach out to Juju.
Yes, she did.
So that's amazing.
So now I find myself not really a big USC fan,
right.
but I'm going to be a big Juju fan. next year.
USC's losing some people to the transfer
They
portal.
are. And now Kiki's going to the draft.
Yep.
So, yeah.
So they're
Yeah.
not going to look so hot.
So my only shout down, and I do have a shout down. Usually Wheels covers the shout downs for me. Wheels is working her 4th job today, I
Yeah.
think. No, I'm just
That
picking,
tracks.
but she probably is.
Yep.
John Morant,
Ah, yeah.
who I keep going like this with, because the kid is so damn talented.
Yep.
But he keeps getting
head
suspended
case,
for
yeah.
being a bonehead.
Head case, yeah.
So the gun gesture, they warned him already
Oh my
on
gosh.
Tuesday not to do it. So what did he do last night? He did it.
Yeah.
$75,000 taken out of his pocket, which
Yeah.
is the only way you can
Yeah.
keep penalizing
Penalizing
them.
them, yeah.
I mean, it's the only way.
Yeah.
Stop doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, we just 2 minutes ago talked about positive platforms in
Right.
sports. What are you doing?
Yeah, and that's where, like, and we've had this conversation before, where especially in sports like basketball and football, where a lot of these kids are getting all of this money and all
Yeah.
of this power
Yeah.
really quickly, and you have to have, especially in college, it should really happen in college, where
Yes,
you
indeed.
literally have people that are there for you, who can educate you and be like, dude.
Right.
And you can't make people listen. You can't make people make decisions. But if you should get to them earlier.
And I don't see this kid changing.
No,
And
I don't.
My
I don't.
mom loved watching. I know Wheels likes watch. I
Yeah.
love watching him.
He's so
But-
talented.
So talented. Not a big guy that can take over games.
No.
What? How many more 75Ks
Right.
out of your pocket? Suspensions.
Right.
What's it going to take? Or like you just said,
Yeah.
he's not going to change.
Yeah. No.
That's too bad because there's a lot of kids
know.
going around with number 12 Morant shirts
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
And it's killing me.
Yeah.
It's really killing me. Some quick NFL draft notes, because you know I'm never going to do a show
When
even though
is the draft?
the 24th
Okay.
of this month.
Yep.
If that is a Thursday,
Karen
that
says
is
take
when
the
it
game
is.
away from him. Yeah.
And it's Green Bay. It's in Green Bay, Wisconsin this year.
Wow.
That's probably why we decided not to go.
Oh yeah.
Well, actually, I would love to go to Green Bay, the history. And it's not
Yeah.
cold, it's summertime. Well, it's spring. It's not summertime,
It
it's
might
spring.
still be a little cold.
Shedeur Sanders had his pro day today.
Mm-hmm.
Travis Hunter made an appearance, caught some balls. Shedeur Sanders right now, and this is going to change, it seems to be the what is going to happen prospect. I was listening to some scouts, and they're saying half of the NFL thinks he has half of the NFL scouts say he does have a first round grade. The other half are saying he has an early second round. And I'm like, what? Because he's probably going to go in the top.
Yeah.
Well, he could go in the top 5.
Yeah.
Could.
He's one of the ones where I won't be surprised either way. If he
Right.
goes top 5 or
Right.
if he slides.
And I do believe the scouts, this is what they do.
Yeah.
But these teams, it's all about what a team needs.
Yep.
It's what a team
Yep.
needs. Now, the New England Patriots are praying that Shedeur Sanders goes in the top 3.
Yeah, because then that means that
One of the big 3.
Yeah, Hunter probably slides.
And the big 3, I'm not even sure I put Cam Ward in there, but as of now, everyone's saying he's the number 1 pick.
Yeah.
It's literally Abdul Carter and Travis Hunter.
Yep.
Those are the top 2 prospects.
Yep.
So if a Cam Ward and a Shedeur get in there,
Yep.
then somebody's going to fall to the Patriots at 4.
Yep.
If Shedeur Sanders stays, then of course Patriots are going to pass on him.
Yeah.
And I don't think anyone's going to trade up for Sanders. I think at that point the Jets got to go, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Do we draft him and have him sit behind Justin Fields for
Yeah.
a year? The Saints would be my next hot spot.
Yeah.
Derek Carr, I believe, believe he's only there for a year.
I agree.
New coach Kellen Moore wants to bring in his dude.
Yep.
And I keep thinking about the Steelers. I'm
What
always
are
going
they
to think
doing?
about the Steelers.
What are they doing?
What are the Steelers doing is what I keep saying, because if he slides, he'd be a great fit in Pittsburgh.
Oh, absolutely.
That would be your franchise quarterback.
Yeah.
You know how much I love Jackson Dart, who is now the hot name
Yep.
that everyone's saying is going to sneak into the first round. I love Jackson Dart to the Steelers
Yeah.
more, because the Steelers are going to have to give up something to move up
Yeah.
for Sanders, and you might have to give up a little bit too much.
It's not. Oops. I
And
don't
there's
think it's
this
worth
kid
it.
named Tyler Shugg that no one's talking about.
Nope.
I think it's because he's 25. Quarterback out of Louisville. Great pocket passer.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to get him in round 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And he's going to make it in the NFL. The one other prospect, and I'm only talking quarterback position, is Jalen Milroe from Alabama.
Yep.
So another kid that I'm like, I watch you and you're just so cocky. I don't know about you. And then what do you think I do? I watch a couple of interviews with him.
Yep.
And I go, damn,
Yeah.
this kid actually has his head on straight.
Which is huge.
He's a quarterback.
Yeah.
He's playing for Alabama.
Yeah.
You got to have a little chip there.
Yeah.
And you got to have a little cockiness in
Yeah.
your game, a little swag when you're a quarterback. He ran a 4.4 in the 40-yard dash, which was the fastest
Damn.
since Lamar Jackson.
Damn.
So you
That's
look at
a
that.
big number.
That is a huge number. So I'm like, I don't think I knew that. The other one is everything they're saying about him is he's a strong pocket passer.
Yep.
Obviously, he can scramble out of the pocket.
Yeah.
He works hard. He's a leader.
Yep.
And he was the Campbell Trophy winner. You know I have followed football my whole life.
Yeah.
I do not know what the Campbell Trophy
Oh,
winner
good,
is.
because I was like, what is that?
I had no clue. That is the academic Heisman
Yo.
of college sports.
Let's go. Let's go.
The academic Heisman went to Jalen Milroe. So I always talk about this
Yep.
above
Especially
the
for
shoulders.
especially for a quarterback.
Holy crap.
Wow, that's pretty amazing.
That's amazing.
That's pretty amazing.
And leadership qualities, they're saying that he's very inconsistent thrower. That's really his only issue.
Okay.
Well, you're going to a pro team, and it's up to them to fix that.
Yep.
It really is
Yeah,
up to them to fix
absolutely.
it. And he had a great pro day. They all have great pro days.
Yep.
So remember Tyler Shugg and Jalen Milroe, everyone knows already. We're going to talk about Aaron Rodgers later because I do that when we get to the whiteboard portion. And a couple of sleepers, and I just want to say this kid's name. I'm going to give a sleeper a week. Arande Gadsden II.
What a
His
name.
dad played for the Dolphins, I think back in Dan Marino's time. I remember his dad.
Yeah.
So we know because we just talked about Trey McBride,
Yeah.
Brock Bowers.
Yeah.
Those are the best tight ends in the game,
Yeah.
and they're first year, second year,
Yeah.
going into their second and third. Aronde Gadsden is 6'5", 243, and as athletic as they come, and that's the new age tight ends.
Yeah.
6'5",
That's
he's not 280, he's 243.
Damn.
And this kid, I watched enough Syracuse games,
Yeah.
this kid can catch everything.
Oh, nice.
So somebody's going to have a steal there. So that's just my little NFL blurb. We are going to hit on MLB last
Yep.
with our whiteboard.
Can we also give us a shout out for actually repping
Right?
repping the
Does
Mets
anybody
and the
know if the
Yankees?
Mets held on and won? They were up 5-0. If Jen Estival's watching, she knows when I put the apparel on, that team usually loses. But it was the bottom of the eighth. It was the
They
bottom.
won. They won 5-0.
All right, sweet. I know these are nice hoodies too.
Yeah.
Not thick,
So-
nice and thin for the summertime.
Andrea Jones says hi. Hi, Lori.
Hi, AJ. How's it going? How's the knee doing? Just want to know. We're going to talk college basketball now.
Yeah.
Even though we've already
We've
done
been
that for the
doing
first
it.
first half. My bracket looks amazing.
Nice.
I
Mine
didn't
doesn't look too
join.
bad.
I tried to join my friend Emily Hawes, and somehow my women's bracket went through, but my men's didn't. So they're lucky because I probably would have won. I have 3 out of 4.
Yep,
Women,
same.
I have 4 out of 4.
Same.
Like CB and I already said, UCLA and UConn is the national championship.
Yeah. Whoever wins that game is winning.
Who's winning the South Carolina-Texas game? You said it perfectly. It's going to be ugly.
Yeah.
It should be low scoring because they're both defensive minded.
Mm-hmm.
I was reading an article recently that said, well, South Carolina doesn't have that big scorer. Cardozo's not there. I'm like, we've been saying that for the whole entire season.
Yep.
And in
It
my
don't.
eyes,
It doesn't matter.
Duke was the better team.
Yeah. Me too.
Duke and Coach Lawson
too.
had the better team.
Me too. And
So South Carolina's lucky.
I was just watching Dawn Staley through that game.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, she pissed. Oh,
Yeah.
she pissed.
And I know she thought they should have got a number 1 seed, the overall, but
Yeah.
I'm like, did she really, or is she just
Well-
going to say
Well-
that because coaches should say that?
Yeah. Well, now she's in a Final Four with all 3 teams that have beat her.
Yeah. And Texas and South Carolina split, I think.
No, I
during the
think
regular.
they were 3. I think South Carolina took it 3, and I think Texas won 1.
Okay.
I think.
But South Carolina won the SEC championship,
Yes.
which was the big one.
Yes.
Don't ever, as good as Don Staley is,
Yeah.
Vic Schaefer is just as good, if not
their
better.
defense
Their defense is so good.
is so good.
Their defense is so good.
It's smothering.
It is.
It's smothering.
When you watch teams like that, you think there's 6 players out there.
Yeah.
So as
Yeah.
playing against a team like that, you
Yeah.
must want to cry.
When I was watching the Texas TCU game, and like what won TCU to get into the Elite Eight was their composure.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
yes.
they lost it against.
They lost
They
it.
lost it. They were turning it over. They were getting 5-second violations, 10-second violations. Like it was. They didn't have.
That's a great
they
point, bud.
didn't have
That's a great point.
good answer.
There was one point, it was in the first half, where HVL just literally threw the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, she's at the point, the wing didn't move much. A small V cut
Yep.
in,
Yep.
coming out, but she just threw it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's when you know a defense is that good.
And I wanted them to like because if they're inbounding off of a score, they can move.
Right.
And I wanted
Right.
them to move. They moved like maybe once.
Right.
I was like, either move or hit it off the player's foot.
Right. Right.
Get
Right.
a kickball.
Right.
Get a kickball. That's the
Yep.
easiest answer. Like hit it off their foot, move out of the way.
And Sedona Prince, if you're a WNBA evaluator, I learned a lot about her in that game.
Oh my gosh.
To me, I don't even know if I
don't.
If I'm drafting later in the round
Literally,
one, I don't think I draft
no,
her.
literally, it's just she got away with it. Well, she had a lot of personal issues, but
Yeah,
it's just because she's 6'7".
exactly.
That's why she made it this far, is just purely because she's
And no, if you read her body language and her facial expression
Yeah.
when she fouled out, and I use this lightly, but she really didn't care that she fouled out. She's like, I'm out.
yeah.
She went over to her teammates, said a few things.
Yeah.
If you're in what could be your final game,
Yeah.
and you foul
Of
out,
a 7-year career.
right, I'm going to be upset.
Yeah.
I'm going to do everything I can not to pick up
Right.
that foul. And it was a hack foul.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah, she's
I
out.
don't know
Yeah.
what to say. So, number 1 overall seed UCLA. This is the first time they've been in a Final Four.
Yeah.
Which still surprises me.
It blows my mind.
It's because we're stuck on John Wooden and UCLA men's.
Yeah.
Vic Schaefer broke through after 3 Elite Eights at Texas, so he's in his first Final Four
Yep.
at Texas. What they keep saying about South Carolina is if they have an edge, it's because they've been there. But I'm like, different group
think
though.
so.
Meaning the group's
Yeah.
been there, but now they're at the forefront more.
Yeah.
Like Chloe Kitts has to
Right.
play a great game for them.
Yeah.
Full Wiley is playing her best ball,
Which it took.
but
It took.
it
a
ebbs
sea-
and flows.
It does. It
And
does.
I can't go into a game like
She's
with
an-
Paige Beckers going,
Yeah.
I know Beckers can take over a game.
Right.
Full Wiley, I don't know.
And again, it's her decision making.
Yes,
It's her decision making.
just a sophomore, but still, it's her decision making.
Again, very talented, but oh my gosh.
For South Carolina to win, Kitts has to have a good game.
Yep.
I think the key is Tahina Pau. I really do. She's
Yep.
got to hit some shots. Bree
didn't
Bree
look
Hall's
good.
got to hit some shots.
Yeah. Why isn't she playing Pow Pow more?
I don't know, but she's going to need her tonight. She's
Yep.
really going to need
Yeah.
her tonight. I picked in my final UConn and Texas, and I'm not wavering from
Yeah.
Texas getting to the final. I'm
Yeah.
really not.
Yeah.
It just, there's something about this South Carolina team. I think that Coach Staley's done a phenomenal job
Yep.
with probably her weakest team
Yes, 100%.
that she's had in years.
The fact
at
that they're
program.
even here
Yes.
is because of Dawn Staley.
So to get to a Final Four, I commend her.
Yeah, 100%.
And I know I'm a big fan, but I commend her because I just didn't expect them. Even though they had the easiest road,
Right.
the best team in that region was Duke.
They made
This
it look
team.
hard, though.
What's that?
They made it look hard.
They did make it look hard. They did. So I wouldn't be surprised if Texas won by 10 tonight.
Yeah, me either.
I really wouldn't be.
I wonder what the spread is.
And that UCLA UConn game should be one for the ages.
I'm so
it
pissed it's
really
9 o'clock.
honestly should be one for the ages. And again, I just want to keep saying, Juju, we do miss you big time. Looking at the men's side and talking about
Five and a half spread. 5.5 point spread to South Carolina.
to South Carolina. I should bet, but I never bet. 'Cause I
I'm
would take
betting.
Texas-
I'm betting.
Take Texas and the 5.5.
Me too. That's what I'm
the
doing.
thing about the men's side, I love that it's 4 number ones.
Yeah.
It's been 20 years, I thought. I think I read that 4 number ones have made it. We've already talked to great lengths about how there's always that sleeper or Cinderella.
Yeah.
But you watch Houston, Duke, Auburn, and Florida,
Mm-hmm.
and those are freaking outstanding athletic teams. When you and Wheels picked Houston to win it, I was like, I am.
Wheels went back on it. Wheels
Oh,
went
she
back
did.
on
She
it.
went to Duke. And, no, she
no,
didn't. She went
no,
to Florida.
Florida.
So I got Duke, you got Houston, she's got Florida. And the one team that has completely found their edge again is this
Auburn.
team.
Yeah.
And I loved how, I can't remember who said it in studio on CBS Sports, but they're playing with an edge again. And
Yeah.
I'm like, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Because I watched enough Auburn.
Yeah.
And they're back. They got their
Yeah.
swagger back.
Yeah. It's that
Johnny Broome-
intangible like feeling that
Yeah.
you're like, okay.
When Broome went down, though,
Yeah.
I'm like, you can't be hurt. If you're hurt, then Auburn is done.
yeah.
He says, I'm 100%. I'm ready to rock and roll. I would not be. This is obviously a big challenge for Duke because Houston
Yep.
is so athletic. And they both play good defenses. I'm going to give a slight edge defensively to Houston.
Yep. It's a 4.5 point spread. I'm taking Houston with 4.5.
You're taking Houston at 4.5.
Yeah.
I will give you the 5 and continue to take Duke. I firmly believe Duke's going to come
Yeah.
away with the win tomorrow night. But that Auburn-Florida game,
That's the one I'm looking forward to.
that Auburn-Florida game has the same vibe as UCLA and UConn
Yep.
for us tonight.
Yep.
And I talk about 2 good teams. Florida escaped. So sometimes when
Yeah.
you escape, they can't be stopped after that.
Yep.
Then you're looking at this team right here and
could go-
going, they're athletic as
Yeah.
all get out.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I picked Florida,
I picked Florida.
but the way Auburn looked, like,
I'm picking Auburn.
it's a game of momentum.
It really is. I'm going Auburn Duke in the finals.
Yeah, I would probably switch to Auburn. I just don't want to pick Duke.
There's Seth Greenberg in CBS
It's
Studio.
gonna be Duke. It's gonna be Duke.
Said everyone likes Duke, everybody likes Florida, and this was on the Final Four.
Yeah.
Had settled, and he goes, "I'm picking Auburn,"
Nice.
and I'm like, "Good for you,
Nice.
well done." I had Florida and Duke in the final. I am shifting Auburn, Duke, and of
Yeah.
course I've had Duke winning it since November. I think for Duke, they showed me a lot in that Alabama game.
Yep.
Alabama's a high-powered offensive team, and Duke showed me that they can play defense just as well as scoring buckets on the other end of the floor. Cooper Flagg, I kind of want him to come back for another year because
Yeah.
he's so good for college basketball.
Oh yeah.
I just still can't believe the kid's from Maine. You don't just hear about a lot of kids from Maine.
Nope.
Going to Duke, making it, being
Yeah.
a number 1 overall pick, and he's having fun.
He is.
They talking about getting the AP Player of the Year. He wanted to talk about when his next water fight was. I don't know. I didn't read the whole entire article, but I'm like, he's 18 years old, having fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
He really is.
It's like
And it's fun to watch.
that's like sometimes when people use the term like the saying "boys will be boys." Sometimes
Yeah.
I'm a little bit annoyed because it means that the boys are just getting away with it. But with that, like him just wanting to like have a water fight, like that is like boys will be boys.
Yeah, boys will be boys.
Yeah.
So, who are you picking in the Auburn-Florida game? Because you have.
I have Florida, but I'm going to change it to Auburn.
So we just
Yeah.
can podcast jinx the hell out of Auburn.
Yeah, pretty much.
So
Because they
Florida
just
and Duke it'll
they
be.
look good.
I love all 4 teams.
Mm-hmm.
It's just really, really good basketball. Again, if I was a bettor, I have no problem with UConn and Texas winning tonight. I just really like that UCLA team.
Yeah.
And the thing I like about UCLA, other than Lauren Betts, is I was watching, I think when they played Richmond, I think that was the second round, and Richmond completely outplayed them.
Yep.
And all UCLA was doing was, it was Lauren Betts.
Yeah.
It was Lauren Betts. And when they went in studio, DeAndre Carter's like, could somebody else just score?
Right.
And in the game last week when she got in foul trouble
Yep.
and sat, there's where all the supporting
Yep.
players, and they outscored
Yep.
LSU in that quarter.
Yep.
And I'm like, now they know. Hawkes is the...
Hawkes went her and what was the other player that also like shot out
Is
of
it
her
Gardner?
line? Gardner.
'Cause
who
she comes
had like
off
a
the
couple
bench.
of minutes in the game before, had 0 points in
Yeah.
the game before, and then just hit like three pointers in a row. or
That's the
something
thing
like
with
that.
Gardner. If she hits
Yeah.
her first one, she's going to give you 3 or 4.
Yeah.
If she doesn't, you go, But Hawkes and Gardner have to step up.
Yeah.
Just like I'm talking about with
They
South
have to-
Carolina,
they have to-
Hall and Pow Pow have
They
to step
have
up.
to do the inside out. They
Yes.
have to move the ball around.
Yes.
If they have any shot. Gail says your sister lives in Connecticut, UConn.
I know. She told me I better be cheering for UConn. Sis, I'm just going to enjoy some good basketball.
Oh, it's gonna be good basketball. I just
do
want a
I
good
have
game.
I have a soft spot for Paige Beckers.
Me too.
Everybody does.
Me too. Oh, I should have worn my
so-
Paige Becker shirt.
I just want a good game. I just
Yeah.
want good games. And I do respect Lauren Betts' game. I really do. I'm a
Her
big
next
fan.
year with her sister,
Yeah. Yes, with her
that's
sister.
going to be fun.
So now that we've exhausted Final Four, because that's all we want to talk about, I don't know what we're going to talk about next week.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
it's
guess
going to
we'll
be all
wrap up.
NFL draft
We'll-
for me.
Yeah. We'll
We're going to give our baseball predictions,
Yep.
which we usually do before the season starts. Actually, I do want to go back before we stop talking about basketball. We have to talk about Olivia Miles.
Oh, yes.
I mean, we kind of put that on the back burner,
And the transfer portal.
and the transfer portal, which to
general.
me is just
like everyone's leaving Notre
insane.
Dame.
Everybody's leaving Notre
Everyone's
Dame.
leaving USC. USC also lost a lot of players, a couple players, big players.
who are the ones from USC? Do you know?
I can't remember their names.
So from Notre Dame, Maddie Westbeld, Liatu King, and Citron are all in. I mean, they have to move on to the
they're
W. They
graduating.
have to.
Yeah, they're out.
Their eligibility. They're
Yeah.
out of eligibility.
Yeah.
I
I can't wait to see where Citron lands. I can't wait to see where
Yeah,
Citron
because
lands.
every mock draft has her in the top 5.
Yeah. Again, it's a
Which I
it's
would
just-
gladly take her.
It's a outside of like Paige Beckers, it's a draft of role players.
Yes,
And
exactly.
you just have to know that going in.
Exactly. The 5 scholarship players left on Notre Dame is obviously Hannah Hidalgo, Kylie Watson, Hidalgo, Prosper. I don't have all the names, but already Watson from Notre Dame has already entered the transfer portal. So I'm like, what is happening? It can't be Coach Ivy, because I watched an interview with Citron who just will run through a brick wall for Coach Ivy.
Yep.
Is it the Hidalgo effect? And is that why Olivia Miles, we are not shocked that she's going back to college.
No.
Because
I think that's the right move for her.
100%. She's going to make more money staying in college, believe it or not.
And I think what I hope out of her is that wherever she ends up, she ups her defense.
Yes, absolutely.
I think that's the weakest part of her game.
So, I'm talked about 5 scholarship players from Notre Dame, and I don't have all the names, but my point is they only have 5 scholarship players coming back, and only 2 of those players played this year. Hidalgo being one of them. The other one has gone into the portal. So Olivia Miles, when it breaking news that she was going back to college, I was like, great, because you got the WNBA, which is in renegotiations with the rookie contracts, the rookie salaries, and it will be bigger next year. So smart move. Doesn't surprise me, kind of does, because every evaluator said there's only 2 sure picks, 2 surefire prospects. Like you just said, Paige Beckers, Olivia Miles. Every mock draft has them going 1 and 2. So that could change for her. But the fact that she's not going back to Notre Dame speaks volumes.
And I really do, for Olivia Miles in particular, I really do think it's the Hannah Hidalgo effect.
So don't I.
Because if I had to play with that, I'd be like, I'm done.
With that. I had to play with that.
Like, because they were,
And she's not the second best player in college women's basketball.
Right.
To get the other 2 votes.
Right.
I'm like, how?
Why?
How and why? And it's stunning that Olivia Miles is not going back to Notre Dame. It is stunning. And I want to know what Coach Ivy is thinking. I mean, is she not shocked?
I don't know.
And the other thing with Miles, she wants to go somewhere. She's got to want to go somewhere where she is the alpha. She's the number 1 dog on that team. Because she wasn't on Notre Dame. And when it gets down to crunch time and who has the ball in their hands, she wants to be that person.
Right.
So, of course, everyone's going to put, she can go to UConn now because Paige Beckers will be gone. Well, she's still not going to be the dog there.
No.
Do you want to see her in a UConn?
Did you look at the rumors?
South Carolina. Do you want to see her in one of those? Does anybody out there want to? I want to see her be a backcourt mate with Juju Watkins.
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing.
But she's not the alpha then.
No. There are a couple rumors.
So talk to me.
One of the rumor I think that I saw was TCU.
Really?
Yep. That was one of the rumors. And again, as Jen Estival says, she can go back. When name is in the portal, you can stay at the school. Some are just testing NIL prospects. So she could technically go back. I
just don't.
I kind of don't want her to go back. Karen says Julio Jones just announced retirement.
Oh, it's about time.
Boo all over again.
It's about time. I'm sorry. He's been bouncing around trying to be a tight end at one point.
Jen heard TCU as well, so I'm not making shit up.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
You have a proven coach there.
Yep.
Look at what Haley.
I think that would be a fun match.
Look what he did for HVL. Look what she did for TCU. I'm just going to throw letters out there all over the place. The rookie deals, Miles could potentially make up to an extra 100,000 plus by waiting. Until 2026 as well.
On that note, too, Flage just announced that she's staying.
She is.
Which
that was the other one I was waiting for.
But also, like, right from
Good for her.
What I also respect about Flage is actually, I heard a song of hers, and I actually thought that it was a pretty good song. But I digress. Right from the get-go, she's talked about, her mom being a single mom and how getting that degree was important for her. And so that also went into her decision to stay is
Yep.
to make sure that she got
Yep.
her degree.
Good. Awesome.
And I was like,
Kudos.
I was like, damn, Flage, like,
Yeah.
prospects,
Yeah.
props to you.
You know, and she's going to make millions off of being a rapper anyway, and I
Yeah.
mean that. I'm not being
No.
sarcastic.
No, yeah.
I'm like, the girl can rap.
She can rap. Did you hear one of her
Badass.
songs? Like, she's
Yeah.
a good rapper.
Yep. I'm going to throw one name out at you as we talk about the prospects in the WNBA draft. Dominique Malanga from
Yep.
France.
Yep.
I mean,
Does
this kid at 6'6"
Yep.
can play.
Yep.
So she went from top 5,
Yeah, now
meaning
to-
hanging around 5,
Yeah.
to she's going to bolt up to that
Yeah.
2 or 3 spot.
Yep.
She really is.
I've been hearing that she's going to go 2.
She should.
Yeah.
I've been hearing that all signs point towards Aaron Rodgers joining the Steelers.
Oh, I'm sorry, gal.
And I'm at the point now where I'm
sorry,
tired
gal.
of it. I'm just tired of it.
Yeah.
I'm at the point now that I want the Steelers to get Shador, Jalen, or Jackson. And other than Shador, Jackson, and Jalen, you kind of need an Aaron Rodgers for a year. Hate saying that because those kids aren't ready to step in.
Aaron Judge has hit another home run.
You say that so calmly.
Yo, I made a lot of money on him hitting home runs. Just
Why,
saying.
if you're Aaron Rodgers, you know, I'm always going to have a little segment here. Why do you go work out with DK Metcalf, who just got traded to the Steelers? We all know that. Why are you going and working out with him if you're not?
Right.
Do you just want to see if you mesh? He's DK effing Metcalf.
Right.
He's a freaking
Right.
stud. Throw the ball in his vicinity. He's so
And he's-
goddamn big.
yeah. Gail says no, it's a nightmare.
Not if you get Jackson Dart or Jalen Milroe. But you do need a... So this is what I heard from NFL experts.
Yeah.
He's waiting until after the draft to see if the Steelers draft a quarterback. What the F does that mean? He's not 35
No.
and is going to be with the franchise for 5 years.
Right.
He's going to be with the franchise for 1 year.
Yep.
Maybe 2, 1 year, I'm saying.
It should be 0. He should be retired.
So who cares if they draft, if the
Right.
Steelers draft a kid, a young kid?
It's smart. But I
It's
don't
very smart.
But
That's so stupid of people to say that.
I also don't know if I was coming out of the draft as a QB, if I would want to be with Aaron Rodgers as my mentor at this point.
Absolutely. Would
Man's a
scare
head
the living
case.
daylights out
Man's
of
a
me.
head case.
But saying that, I'm like, he wants to see, because he doesn't want to get into a Michael Penix situation. Okay, I get that. You're going to go out, you're going to suck for 8 weeks.
Yep.
And then they are going to turn. But
let's
that's
face it.
on you.
Yeah, and let's face it,
That's on you.
He sucked last year.
That's on you, bud.
Yeah.
You're just lucky there was no one in the quarterback room with the New York Jets other than you.
Yep.
Really, honestly.
Absolutely.
So you got to suck and continue to play for 17 weeks.
Yep.
That's on you, bub.
Yep.
Come on. The worst thing I could have heard was that, and he didn't say that. It's just the NFL experts said that, and I'm like, that's just ridiculous. So I ask you this on your whiteboard. The first question I have is...
Wait, can I just, I'm just going to put a quick picture up, because are we starting to talk about baseball a little bit?
Yes, we are.
Whoops. Oh, where's my desktop? I just want to throw a picture, the cutest little picture, I sent it to you, of Decoy. So Decoy is Shohei Ohtani's dog, and they just released a Shohei Ohtani bobblehead, which, if we find it, we should get it. Look at how cute Decoy is.
Decoy is
how
adorable.
Freaking adorable
Decoy is adorable.
Like,
So freaking
he
cute.
just looks like such a
He's
good
so
boy.
freaking cute.
He just looks like such a good boy. Sorry, I had to digress.
Oh, no, you had to. And Shohei bobblehead night was the other night, right?
and he hit
hit
home
a walk-off.
Game winning.
Yeah, walk-off.
Yep.
Ho-hum. It's
Yep.
just Shohei being Shohei.
Hey,
okay.
he'll be back soon.
Who is the
pitching.
better fit for the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Oh,
And here is where we know more than the experts sometimes. We've been talking about Kirk Cousins for a month.
yeah.
Now, all of a sudden, everybody's talking about Kirk Cousins.
Yep.
Why? We've been talking about him for a month.
I know.
What's
I
taking
just read-
everyone
I just
so
read-
long?
I think I just saw an article on him about him wanting to be cut rather
Yes.
than. Yep.
Yes, and Atlanta knows what he wants.
Yep.
but they're going to play hardball too.
Yeah.
But they're also backed up the Brinks truck last year and owe him a ton of money.
Yeah.
So I'd want
That
to
was
trade
a
him.
stupid contract anyway.
Who's a better fit, Kirk Cousins with the Steelers or
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Rodgers?
I'm just going to say Cousins just because I think,
Captain Kirk.
yeah, Cousins. Because no one is a good fit for Rodgers.
And here's the thing, though. The only way the Steelers go after Kirk Cousins is if Aaron Rodgers retires. Because the Steelers right now have showed their hand. They're all in on Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. And then just, yeah.
The owner has said, we will wait. But then he also said, we can't wait forever. So everybody in NFL world is like, so then say this is your cutoff time.
Yep.
But they won't do it because it's Aaron Rodgers. Explain to me what a torpedo bat is. Why?
Okay.
Is it new this year
It's not
only?
new. It's not new.
So then what the heck?
It's new because it's actually working this year.
Oh, okay.
Because they've played around with it. But
Okay.
the story
Makes sense.
the story is the Yankees hired an MIT engineer, I believe, or a
Love that.
statistician.
I love that.
One of those things. And they basically, based on where the players are hitting the ball on
Right, off the-
the
yep.
physical bat.
Yep, where's the
they're-
meat of it, right?
They're basically moving more wood to that area.
Okay.
Because per MLB regulations, it really just has to be a certain length.
Yep.
It has to have like a certain, it does have to have like a certain shape and weight, I think. But there's
Makes sense.
not a lot of regulations on what a bat needs to be.
Right. It's
So
a legal bat.
These are
Very,
all
very legal.
legal bats, and it's actually it's working. And so now it's getting a lot of, the Yankees have the most players using it.
Okay, but can we just point out it's not just the Yankees using
not.
it?
It's not.
I got asked that question today. Are the Yankees the only ones using the bat? I'm
Yeah.
like, no,
So I
they're not.
So I have a list. So off of the Yankees, Volpe,
Mm-hmm.
who's hitting much better this year. Wells, which he's got a good pop anyway.
My guy
we'll
is.
we'll talk about Chisholm,
That's my guy.
Bellinger, and Goldschmidt.
Jazzy's my guy, okay?
Yeah.
Love the kid.
And I'm glad he's back at second base.
yes.
But it's also Alex Holm of the Phillies, Junior Caminero from the Rays, Cruz and the Pirates, Ellie De La Cruz off the Reds, and we've talked about Ellie.
and he's having a
Nico
great year.
Horner off the Cubs, Ryan Jeffers off the Twins, Francisco Lindor, your
Yep.
boy off from the Mets, Adley Rutschman off the Orioles, Jose Trevino, who was on the Yankees and is now on the Reds, Dansby Swanson from the Cubs, their shortstop, and you just said Max Muncy.
I was watching highlights last night, and they're like, oh, Max Muncy uses a torpedo bat, and he was 0 for 3. He was 0 for 3, okay? So it all depends. It's not the bat, it's the player.
Yep.
Okay, yes, the MIT guy, yep. Love what they've done, love
Yep.
what they've done. Muncy did then tie
Yep.
the game up, but
Yep.
he was 1 for 4 then.
You know who's not using it? Aaron Judge.
That was my question to you.
Yeah. No.
Yes.
Stanton.
He's tearing it up.
Stanton, when he does play, does use a torpedo bat. But Aaron Judge, who shout out to Sarah Langs, who I got all of my stats from. He now has, I guess, 321 home runs, 42 more than any other player through their first 1,000 games, and tonight is his 1,000th game.
Wow.
So,
He's just a stud.
He's got now 6 home runs.
He's a stud.
Yep. I've been, betting a little bit of money on Aaron Judge hitting home runs, and I haven't done too badly, let's just put it that
Who
way.
were the 3 Yankees that hit, was it last Saturday?
Yep.
That hit homers in their, and it was just 3 pitches.
Yep.
3 pitches, 3 Yankees. Who are the 3?
Volpe. No, not Volpe. Austin Wells.
Yeah.
Because he's the first catcher to hit a home run out of the leadoff spot for the Yankees.
Oh.
First catcher to do it. Because
Really?
catchers never
Catchers
lead
never
off
bat lead
because,
off. Yep.
because they can't run.
Yep. It's true.
He can shockingly.
That shouldn't surprise me then. It shouldn't.
He can actually run pretty well for a catcher. We'll see how long that lasts.
Well.
And then
Those knees take a
I
beating.
believe it was Bellinger and then Aaron Judge.
Okay.
So
God, I like Bellinger
the first
too.
time in history that they've seen 3 pitches, first 3 pitches of the game were 3 home runs.
That's insane.
Yep.
And I was mad at CB because she's texting me that while I'm watching TCU and Notre Dame, I think.
Yeah, I think.
And I'm like,
yeah.
what are you doing watching baseball? But I didn't realize she was watching multiple.
Yeah.
She's got her iPad, she's got her laptop, she's got her TV, she's got
Yeah.
everything working, which that's smart.
Got to have multiple screens.
That's very smart.
Yeah.
So Yankees come out on fire. In the last 4 days, Red Sox are catching fire.
Yep.
Alex Bregman's catching fire.
Yep.
Toronto's not off to a bad start.
Nope.
I mean, I think it's the first time they started 5-2 through their first 7 games,
Yep.
which I don't know why I'm high on Toronto. No clue.
And let me be clear, Yankees, not high on the Yankees.
Well, the Yankees and the Mets, it's going to be their pitching.
Right. So they
And the Yankees have better pitching.
They scored they scored 20 runs,
Yeah.
but it was against the Brewers. And they had 5 errors.
It was against the Brewers too. But yes, you can't have that many errors. You can't.
And
You can't.
and their defense had issues last year. And it's
Yep,
all
true.
on the coaching staff. Because we're coming out of spring training where theoretically they should be playing their best defense
Right.
because they've been just working on their defense. Versus when we get to the middle of the season, no one wants to do that.
So I'm going to speak for Wheels, even though I don't speak for anybody.
Yeah.
I feel like you're talking about Aaron Boone right now.
Fucking Aaron.
So this is the Wheels side of me going, fucking Aaron Boone.
Fucking Aaron Boone. And like also, right, and you mentioned their pitching. Like they were up 9-1 last night
Yeah.
at one point, and
Yeah.
then what did the game end up being?
I don't know, but they were up quite a bit.
And
So when did you sign Carlos Carrasco?
I don't know.
Sorry, the guy has a great career.
There was
but
also
not anymore.
There's also a stat. Speaking of not anymore, there's a stat where Ottavino also pitched last night. So between Carrasco and Ottavino, it's the first time they've had pitchers older than 38 pitch since like Mo and someone else. But I was like,
Their better years are in the rearview mirror. Carrasco's got, I think, a 13.4 ERA.
and Rodon.
13.4.
Oh my god.
I'm like, when did the Yankees sign him? Because I would have been picking on you about that one.
Rodon
you
is
can
our
pick on
ace.
me about Clay Holmes because you know that's
Yeah.
not gonna work
Clay
out.
Holmes
Maybe it
specifically
will.
starting.
And here's the thing: the Mets would probably be 0-7 with the Braves right now.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for Pete Alonso
Yep. Who's been hot as anything.
on fire,
Yep. They had a
and
stat.
he's not using a torpedo bat either.
Nope, Sarah Langs had a stat on him. He's the first player in StatCast history, so within the last, 10 years,
Yep.
where he had 3 extra base hits, all hit harder than 113 miles an hour.
Holy shit.
That is Aaron Judge
Yeah.
strength, and Aaron Judge is much bigger.
And I'll tell you what,
understand.
they would be 0-7 without him.
Yep.
And how are the Braves 0-7 or 0-8?
What is going on with the Braves?
And they were up 5-3 on the Dodgers when Muncy tied it up last night.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh, they're going to get there because they're way better.
Yep.
Way better
Oh, yeah.
than an 0-7 start.
Oh, yeah.
And we're early. I
Yeah.
get it.
Yep.
Because then you look out west and nothing surprises us with the Dodgers.
Nope.
But maybe the Padres, maybe they found their groove this year because the talent
It's about time.
beyond there.
It's about time.
The pitching staff beyond there.
Yep.
They've lost their first game today to the Cubs 3-1.
Yep.
But you're not going to win
Yeah.
all of them. It's 162 games or how many ever games it is. The other team that doesn't surprise me in the National League is the Phillies.
No.
And they're starting a series
Phillies.
with the Dodgers,
Good.
which I'm going to love.
I hate both of them.
Well, I have a hard time hating the Dodgers with Shohei on the team. Sorry, I have to say it.
For my dad, I have to hate the Dodgers.
I know. We're going to write down right now, as my voice cracks, who we think's going to win their divisions, respective divisions, and the 3 wild card teams.
Yep.
We're going to start with the American League.
Okay.
So we're going to do S Central and East, Central, and West. I think I just combined all of them. And we will get Wheels predictions next week. And I'll make sure that we keep track of these as the season goes along. My wild cards are Bing.
Damn.
I don't know why I keep picking this team. My first wild card team, I picked them last year and they never even came close. And okay, I will go first.
Okay.
Okay, because you're still writing. My American League East winner is the Red Sox. I'm sorry, we're doing the predictions to win. Who is correct on the podcast? Kansas City Royals and the Texas Rangers, who are playing really good. And I'm counting on DeGrom getting through a whole season.
I also have. Well, I have the Orioles coming out of the East because I refuse to choose.
Shoot, I forgot about the Orioles.
I refuse to write down the Red Sox coming out of the East. So,
Okay.
but I do have the Royals and the Rangers coming out.
Okay, so my wild card, I don't know why. What is it about the Blue Jays? I picked them as a wild card last year and they killed me.
I asked you.
So I'm going Toronto/Birds.
That's
meaning the
cheating.
Orioles. That is cheating.
That's cheating.
All right, that's cheating. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
I'm going Orioles.
Okay.
Sorry. Yankees and Cleveland, the land.
I like
Going
that.
Cleveland. I never go against Cleveland.
I like that.
So the land, the Yankees, and the Birds are my wild card. Who are your wild cards?
The Red Sox, because as much as I hate them, yeah, I do have the Yankees getting one. They will not get far.
Wait, who do you have winning the? You have the Orioles winning the East.
I have the Orioles
and then you
winning
have
the East.
KC, Texas.
Casey in Texas,
Okay.
yes.
Sorry.
So I have the Red Sox, the Yankees, and the Astros. Because as much as I hate the Astros,
Oh my God, you picked the Astros?
as much as I hate
just because you can't
as
stand
much as
them.
I hate the Astros, you can't argue with everything that they've done.
That's true. That is true.
So as much as I hate them,
I'm going to leave these up so we remember next week.
Oh,
Because as high as I keep being on Toronto, I have to see if Wheels is still high on the Seattle Mariners. She was last year as I was on the Blue Jays. All right, so we agree on a lot of them. Now we're going to go over to the National League, where this is going to kill me. But true, I think I spelt them wrong. Oh, I don't know why I'm doing this. Yep, I'm doing it.
I want to know who you're going out of the East. Because I don't know who I have going out of the East. I do.
Oh, you're going to laugh at me. You're going to laugh at my wild card. I can't pick my last wild card team. You're going to call me a cheater again.
I don't know who.
I have to pick. Okay.
I don't know.
You're going to laugh at this wild card. Okay. National League East, the Phillies. That one's easy for me.
Okay.
The Central, the Chicago Cubs, just because that's where my heart is.
Yep.
And the West is, of course, the LA Dodgers.
Yep.
My wild card teams,
Yep.
the Padres,
Yep.
the Diamondbacks,
Yep.
and the Giants. Yeah, you heard it here first. The San Francisco Giants.
Good for you.
No Mets, which means they're all going to get fired
Good for you.
by what's his name? The owner. They're going to all get fired. I don't have the Braves or the Mets in it. This West is loaded.
The West is loaded.
The Giants are really
They
good with the
were
pitching
really
staff.
they were really close last year.
And they went out and got some pitchers in free
Yep.
agency. The
I like that
Diamondbacks are the most underrated team in all of baseball.
Yep. I agree. You know I'm high on the Diamondbacks.
You love the Diamondbacks, and you got me to buy in last year.
I went out of the East because I think, and again, this is a little bit of my heart because I fucking hate the Phillies. I think
Flying.
it's Friday afternoon, folks.
Oh my God, I love Friday podcasts.
Out of the East, I have the Braves because I just think they're too good.
Really?
I think they're too good. They're bouncing back. I think,
Can we have a side bet on that?
yeah.
I don't know what we're going to bet, but I'll
Braves
gladly
versus
take the
Phillies.
Phillies. You're going to take the Braves.
Central, I have the Cubs. I
Okay.
have the Cubs.
Love it,
West, I have
Cubbies.
the West. I have the Dodgers,
Yeah.
of course. And then out of the wild card, I have the D-backs, the Phillies, and the Padres.
Neither one of us has the Mets. As I sit here with a Mets
Again,
hoodie
it's
on,
the pitching.
the pitching is going to kill them.
That's what I was like. I was texting my buddy last night, and the Yankees were starting to hit home runs, and he's like, he was at the game, And I was like, oh, great game. Sadly, we'll have to score 20 runs just to win games.
And that's what the Mets and the Yankees have to do that.
Yeah.
8 to 10 runs a game.
It's literally, we just have to hit. And you know how well relying on home runs does in the postseason.
And that's why
know
I picked
how well.
this team, because you know what this team did in free agency and the trade market?
They got, you know what? Props to the Red Sox. They got all of their missing pieces that they needed.
Yep. And holding out to get Bregman at the end was genius.
Yep.
How do you say Garrett Crockett?
Yeah.
Is it Crockett?
I think it's
I
Crockett.
just stumbled 100 times. Trading for him was brilliant.
Yep.
Because that was the only pitcher I wanted the Mets to trade for.
Yep.
And Crockett was the one Mets are all in. And then all of a sudden he's gone to the Red Sox. And then what did they do this week? Signed him to an extension.
Yep.
Brilliant. And Walker Buehler.
Yep.
I can talk, really, I can. Why not in the middle of your rotation? Why not?
Right? And
Bregman.
And I have to say, like, I've given a lot of shit to the Red Sox GM the last few years because they've been very, like, middling.
Yes.
They haven't done they could have gone either way. They could have gone out and signed the big names and did a push, or they could have tried to just get rid of everyone and restart and rebuild.
So they took their poker chips and went.
Yeah. But they've been like the last 2 or 3 seasons where at the trade deadline everyone was like, oh, they could be sellers or they could be buyers. It could go either way, and they didn't do either.
Yep.
And I was frustrated. Like, even just as a baseball fan, I was like, what are you doing, Red Sox? Like, choose. Like, because doing this middling thing, you're not going to get anything done in the East.
Yep.
The East is strong.
So strong.
And so they finally went out and they got every single piece that they needed.
They did.
So
quietly.
Yep.
We're going to trade.
Very quietly.
We're going to sign a middle of the rotation guy. We're going to hold out for Bregman.
Yep.
And telling Devers that he's going to lose.
Yep.
Did I say his name right?
Devers.
He's going to lose third base.
Yeah.
That's huge.
I gotta say,
you're going to be the DH.
I wanted Bregman. I wanted Bregman on the Yankees.
I wanted
badly.
Bregman on the Mets.
Yep.
You really did.
Yep.
Because that was the other one. Oh, the Mets are going to go out and get him.
Yep.
They're going to trade for this one. They did none of the above. None of the above.
Yep.
And the Red Sox took their poker chips and they did it wisely.
Yes.
Their moves were brilliant moves.
Yep.
And I have no problem picking them to win the East. I really don't.
I just can't.
Do you have a World Series prediction? Or I'm going to go.
I'm going Dodgers. Because I think I just can't see how anyone's going to take down the Dodgers this year.
This team should be ready, the Orioles.
Yeah.
They were too young last year.
Yeah.
Too inexperienced.
Yeah.
They should be ready.
Yeah. And as much as it's going to kill me, I don't have them coming out of the East, but I do have the Red Sox going. I would not be surprised if we see the Red Sox in the World Series out of the American League. Just because they have a good, well-rounded team. And
I spelled Phillies wrong.
I'm gonna hate that World Series.
Oh, you want to know what I'm going to hate? This is my prediction. The Red Sox and the Phillies with Phillies winning.
Oh, wow.
That's my prediction.
You think the
I'm
Phillies
going to go out on a limb like I did with
going out?
UConn and Duke in November. I'm going Phillies, Red Sox, Phillies win. Do you think I'm going to watch that? I probably will, because that's good baseball right there. Who else do I want to go with? I just said Baltimore should be ready.
Yeah.
I'm never going to not take Texas.
Yep.
Because Bruce Bochy is probably one of the best managers in the entire game.
Yep.
I will not be surprised if the Padres, as long as they they don't trade any of their pitchers, which why are you going to?
No.
They didn't when everyone said they were going to trade one of them. They didn't.
Yep.
And if you're in the thick of things, which they should be,
Yeah.
you're not going to trade them at the trade deadline.
No.
So they've got
And again, a lot can happen. It's
100,
168 game.
Yeah. A lot of games left to play.
We'll see who stays healthy. But Dodgers are going to. Shohei was throwing. They expect him to come back in like May.
I told you the Dodgers and the Phillies, and we're just 2 weeks in, 1 weekend, 2 weeks in. That's a fun series.
Yeah.
And that is going to say a lot because those teams are loaded.
Yeah. Are the Phillies undefeated?
I don't think they're undefeated. I think they have one loss.
Okay.
I think they do. But I just look at the Phillies and the Dodgers and I go, just so well-rounded.
Yeah.
Meaning you got the offense,
Yeah.
you got the defense, you got the pitching.
Yeah.
and I look at the Red Sox and I say the same thing.
They have all the pieces.
I thought the Orioles would go out, and I know they have a plethora of everybody in their farm system. I just thought they would strengthen their pitching staff instead of letting Corbin Burns walk, who goes to the Diamondbacks. There's another one I thought the Mets were going to go get. So he's with the Diamondbacks. So I think that at the end of this year, Baltimore's going to go, okay, maybe we trade some of our prospects.
They need to.
And get a solid pitching staff.
They do.
So that's why I look at it and go, well, why not the Red Sox?
Yeah, I know.
I mean,
I do have them, even if I don't have them coming out of the East, just the fact that they have the pitching. Pitching in the postseason.
Right.
Pitching in the postseason.
Yep. Pitching's huge.
Yep.
It's like defense
Yeah.
for in the NFL. When you gets right down to it, it's all defense.
Yep.
So we've gone way over, but you know, that's to be expected. Gosh, it's Final Four weekend, you guys. Tonight, the women, tomorrow, the men's. Watch some baseball. You know, listen to Big Papi. Watch some baseball because I know we still got 160 games to go, but it's baseball.
Yeah.
And it means summer's right around the corner.
Yes.
But enjoy the Final Four. There's nothing better than Final Four weekend.
Everything wraps up this weekend.
Tip-off was 5 minutes ago, and we're over now.
Oh, shit.
We're way over now.
Yep.
So have a great weekend. We will be back on Wednesday. We might float between Wednesdays and Fridays because Fridays are fun.
I like this Friday.
Fridays are fun.
I like this Friday vibe.
We'll be back next Wednesday with Wheels. We'll get her predictions on the baseball season, and by then we're really going to be heating up with the NFL draft. So enjoy the Final Four. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next Wednesday.